See how pigmented that is? I'm gonna throw up. It's so pigmented. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're talking new makeup and we're talking new makeup on my face. And I don't want to be dramatic. Skin's looking amazing. The blush, I can't. There's so many good products in this video, and ones that there a few that will really surprise me. I would love to know down below, what products would you like me to talk about, review, brands, all that. Let me know down below. I love to hear from you guys. Also, where are you guys shopping for spring summer clothes? Let me know down below, because I'm currently in a jazzy place where I'm like, okay, maybe I want a couple new spring tops. So let me know down below where you guys are shopping and brands that you really like. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started. So if you're excited for this video, more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this full face of new makeup. New makeup, let's jump right in. I'm really excited. First things first, we're starting with the complexion. We have a new foundation, and this foundation made me nervous for a lot of reasons. This is it, this container made me nervous. I don't know why. And this is actually from the brand Axiology. They sent me this, and it is a foundation with mushrooms in it. Immediately I was like, why? But this is it. I got the shade 8, and you can kind of like push it up. Hope you can see. And then you can then like kind of push it back down. So that's kind of cool. And it's supposed to be like a no waste brand, which I really like. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just put a little bit on the back of my hand. So this is the shade here. I hope you guys can see. It's a pretty good shade match. I tend to skew more neutral with a touch of warmth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this makeup brush here, and I'm going to apply it 2 ways. So for this side, I'm going to apply it with a brush directly from the back of my hand. And on this side, I'm going to apply it to my face from the tube, just so you can see. And I actually looked at how much product you get for the price, because the container itself, I was like, oh, this is so small for how expensive it is. But you actually get more product, surprisingly, in this than other popular stick foundations. I found that really interesting. So we're going to do this side like this, and this shade match is pretty decent. I really don't have a lot of sun on my face right now. This is a foundation that I feel like this shade match is really, really good. You can definitely build up the coverage, so we'll do that, but I want you to just see on initial application how much coverage there is. All right, so that is kind of the first coat. What do you think? We definitely have some hyperpigmentation that we need covered, but we're going to go in with more product. I really didn't go in with a ton, and so I'm going to just put more on the back of my hand, and we're just going to get more product. Now, for kind of the hyperpigmentation areas that I do want maybe a little bit more coverage, I might go in and kind of pinpoint, because that's always easiest to do with just any foundation, is to kind of pinpoint the areas you want the most coverage in. This side is all blended out. What do you guys think? Now I'm going to apply it to this side just from the actual bullet, just so you can kind of see what it's looking like. So I'm not going to overdo it, but we are going to do, and we do have some coverage here that we need. You can kind of get light to medium coverage out of this. It just depends on how much you apply. And yeah, but I actually do really like the finish of this foundation. Both sides are blended. I'd love to know what you think. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this on my finger, and I'm gonna, here we have some hyperpigmentation that went away and then came back because I got another breakout. I feel like I know a lot of people actually with breakouts on their chin right now. You'll have to let me know down below if you're experiencing that. I feel like every spring I kind of experience a good amount of breakouts on my chin for some reason. It's like, girl, get a grip. We are blended. What do you guys think of the shade match of the actual coverage? Again, light to buildable medium coverage. It has kind of a it has a little bit of radiance to it. Like it has a little bit of a like a glow, but it isn't super, super dewy. However, if you do have combination skin, which I have, I suggest powdering kind of the T-zone, because by the end of the day, it doesn't like break up or anything like that, which is nice, but I do notice some dewiness in my T-zone. So that's just something to know, but I actually really like it. Now I do want to take a little bit of this and put it under my eyes just so you guys can see, what kind of the coverage is like under the eyes. And then if we need to, we have more concealer that we can kind of apply. So with this under my eyes, I do like to let this sit for about a minute. So we're going to let it sit for a minute and then we're going to come back and blend it out. Okay, it sat down enough. Now I realized I actually didn't take a concealer brush. So I'm going to actually use this brush here. This is from Makeup by Mario. This is their F4. I've been testing it out. And I do like this brush a lot for blending out concealer, which is really nice. Your eyes are blended. What do you think of the coverage? Let me know down below. Now I do want to add a touch of brightness to it. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Sarah Creole concealer in the shade 5 just right here. It's just gonna be a little bit brighter for my under eyes, but I do really like the Axiology foundation underneath my eyes. But if I want a little bit more coverage, like a true medium coverage, but I don't have to really build it up, I will go with something else. But if I'm wanting a light coverage, I actually have been really enjoying that. I'm just gonna keep it kind of where it is. I'm not gonna try to like spread it out too much, because I feel like I mainly need brightness, like just right in the front. Are concealed, those layer really nicely together. Anyways, now we're going to move on to bronzer, and I'm actually going to take a little bit of this bronzer here from Westman Atelier. These are their bronzing drops. I love these. These are in the shade 3. Just do a little drop on the back of my hand. Look how absolutely stunning that is. And then we're going to take it and just kind of spread it out on the back of my hand. Then I'm going to take the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe number 7 and I'm going to dip in to the bronzer just so it kind of covers it. And I'm going to lightly pack it all over the face. I really like this bronzer. The tone is really, really nice. If you are looking for a bronzer that has not orange, but it has like red warmth to it, which I feel like a lot of people struggle finding something with a red warmth to it, this one is really nice for that. Whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to bring it down the nose. Not too much, but I do like a little bit of cohesion with what's on the cheeks. I like to pull bronzer down my nose or down the sides of my nose. It kind of depends on the day. We're moving on to blush, and I'm really excited about this because A, it's really expensive, so it's definitely worth getting during a sales, 4 sales happening right now. But also, I love a powder blush, and this one is from Westman Atelier, their new blush duos. They also have like a brush contour shade, bronzer shade duo, so they have 4 blush duos and then 4, I think it's 4. I could be, don't quote me on that, but I believe it's 4 of each. But I got the shade Suede and Sable for the blush duo because this just feels very much my vibe. So what I want to do is I want to layer the blush on one side on top of like a cream blush, and then on another side just wear it on its own so you can kind of see both. Because it is super expensive, we want to make sure it's worth our coin. So we're gonna take the Amicole multi-stick in the shade Dune, and I'm gonna apply on one side only. We're gonna look crazy for a second, so we're gonna take it and I'm gonna put a little bit on a brush, and on this side only we're gonna apply it. And I'm not gonna over apply because I don't want to look insane, but we're gonna just add a little bit of cream blush to the cheeks. Now I'm going to let that marinate and by marinate, I mean just settle down for about a minute or 2 before I go on with the powder. So give me a minute and we'll be back and we'll try the new Westman Atelier blushes. All right, blush has settled down. So now we're going to apply the new blush to our cheeks. Look how pretty those shades are. I'm obsessed. So we have one shade here, which is really pretty. Look at that. That is just the blush of dreams. That is my vibe. And then we also have this one here, which I know kind of looks like it'd be nothing on the cheeks, but it actually looks really pretty, and I will show you. So I'm going to take this brush here. This is an Hourglass, just powder like brush, and I'm going to dip in, take some up, because although you're like that, it doesn't look too pigmented. Trust. And we're going to just lightly apply it on top of this blush here. Look how pretty that is. And what I didn't expect was it kind of like blurs down. I don't know how to explain it. It has like a blurring effect, and it's so easy to blend. It's crazy. Now what I want to do is I actually want to show you the more tan shade on this cheek, and then I'm going to layer on top the shade that I just used on this cheek, just so you can see it all. So we're going to apply, and I'm just going to apply it to my cheeks. Look how pretty that is. Look, at first you're like, oh, that's going to do nothing. And then look at that pretty shade. I know. Now we're going to go on top with the other shade because we're looking crazy. Let's even this out. So we're going to try to even the tone. See how pigmented that is? I'm going to throw up. It's so pigmented. I mean, look how absolutely stunning that is. I feel like I should try to even out the intensity on both sides, because this side is way more intense than this one. Okay, I feel like I evened that out decently well. You have to let me know what you think down below. I did go around the edges with this brush here that I had kind of leftover foundation on, just to make sure everything kind of seamlessly toned itself down, because they are pigmented. You see how pigmented that was? It's crazy. Now I want to take a little bit of highlighter, and Axiology also sent me their highlighter. This is a very subtle highlighter, so if you're into a more intense highlighter, girl, she is not for you, but it's very pretty. And please excuse, I have a little bit of a breakout right there. Look how pretty that is. And this is, I don't know if I told you the shade. This is in the shade The Goddess. Nope, The Goodness. And look how pretty though. It is such a natural highlight, and it looks very minimal. So pretty. You have to tell me what you think. I actually really like it, and if I had to compare it to the Westman Atelier, their highlighter, this is in the shade Nectar, but just the texture of it more so than the color. I would say that it has a little bit less sheen and kind of like a glow to it. It has a little bit less of that, but it's still very pretty. So let me do this side by side. So this one right here is the Westman Atelier. And then this right here, which is more of a pink tone and has more of like a silver reflect to it, whereas the Westman Atelier and Nectar has a little bit more of a gold reflect to it. It's a little bit less wet looking, if that makes sense. It still has that, ooh, glowy. Wet, but not wet in a, do you just run a marathon type wet? But it still has that look, but not quite as intense as the Westman Atelier. But both, in my opinion, are very natural looking highlights. Anyways, we're going to move on to the eyes because we have a new mascara. And I want to do the eyes, use our new setting spray, then go on with the new mascara. So let's get into it. Oh, first things first, I'm going to take this stick from Ilia. I'm obsessed with this. This is their new eyeshadow stick, and I'm going to take it in the shade Fawn, I believe. Fawn with a U, not W. Yes, Fawn with a U. I'm going to pull it down my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this highlighter we used, and I'm going to put it as an inner corner highlight. It's not going to be super intense, but it just has like a little subtlety to it that I really like. Then I'm going to dip back into the blush palette and into this shade here, the more tan shade. And I'm going to pull it through the crease and on my lid. Look how pretty that is. It just does what I needed to do in a positive way. It's a very pretty shade. I was anticipating, because of all the shades, this one really spoke to me, like of the palettes. I was really anticipating being disappointed that one of the shades wasn't going to work on me, but I really wanted to try it out, and I'm so happy I did, because look how pretty that is. Then I'm going to take the other shade on this brush and just very lightly in the crease, add it in, just like towards the end. It just pulls the entire look together sometimes to take a little bit of the blush shade that you're using and pull it through the crease. It kind of creates just more monochrome, cohesive look to the look. Look to the look. You have to let me know, do you do that? Okay, loving that. Now we are going on with the Kosas setting spray. This, I don't know what it is about this cap. And you know what? It's probably the hint I need to go to the gym more. But it's so hard for me to get off the cap. So I'm going to spray my face with this. And I'm going to let this set down. We're going to talk about this really quick before we move on to mascara and the new lip liner. So give me about 2 minutes. This takes a little bit of time to dry down, and then we'll be back. Setting spray is dried. Now I do want to go through the center of my face with powder. I'm going to go in with the Amicole powder. And the reason for that is this powder, or not powder, setting spray, really does give me a little bit of dew in my oily areas, which is my T-zone. I have combination skin, for those of you wondering, and it does require me to powder because by the end of the day, I do find that although my makeup has lasted long, my T-zone can be a little bit of a slip and slide. With that setting spray, I prefer the LYS Beauty one. It's still the Kosas setting spray is still a nice like product. It melts everything into the skin really nicely. It gives a nice, I would say, natural to dewy kind of finish to the face, but I do find by the end of the day, I'm looking dewier than I would want. And if I'm using something like, let's say, the LYS Beauty Setting Spray, I don't have that. So I think if you have an oily T-zone or more combo skin, this might not be the best for you. However, if you have a little bit more of a dry, normal to dry, this will probably be nice. I mean, my makeup looks incredible when I'm wearing it, but I do up a little bit. That's all. Now we're gonna move on to mascara, and I was really excited to get my hands on this. This is the Cool Feet mascara, and it's a tubing mascara, which you know, well, actually maybe you don't know, I love a tubing mascara, and this just really intrigued me. So this is the mascara wand. It has little bristles kind of at the tippy tip. Yeah, there we go. You can see tippy tip, and then it is kind of just a smaller wand. I'm not gonna curl my lashes or line them. I really want you to be able to see what they're looking like. And I'm gonna do one eye first so you can see, and then we're gonna do the second eye. That is one coat versus no coat. I'm going to go in with the second coat kind of right away because this one does dry down. Not super fast, but I do want to kind of be able, I want to build it up. So we're going in with coat number 2. It's 2 coats versus no coats. What do you guys think? I'm going to go in on the second side and we'll kind of talk through my kind of final thoughts on this and all of that jazz. So that's 1 coat versus 2 coats. These lashes, I do feel like look better right now than these. I don't know what's going on with my lashes, so just keep that as in the back of your mind, but 2 coats versus 1 coat. Now we're gonna go in with second coat. It's both sides done. What do you guys think of the mascara? I actually really like the volume, the length, and all of that. The only thing is, don't wait too long between coats because this one does dry down. So you want to kind of get in there before you wait too long, and then maybe you have a little bit of clumping, which I did find when I waited too long, and that's totally user error. Because like, why are you waiting so long between coats? Get a grip. But I had like picked up a phone call and then went in and was like, okay, mistake, even if you kind of let it sit more than 30 seconds. I feel like I can get a little bathy, a little dicey, if you will. But I really enjoy this. I find that if I over apply, so I go more than 2 coats, because sometimes I will test mascaras up to 4 coats just because I'm crazy. If I do over apply, so I get kind of to that 3 coat area, 3 coat area. Sometimes I'll like apply a little bit more just on the tips of my lashes. I do find that I will by the end of the day have a little bit of crumpling, but that is with most mascaras. So just don't over apply too much, and don't over apply too much on the tips of your lashes. But I really like this. I mean, I would love to know what you guys think. And remember this side, the lashes, we're kind of going through it. We're having a tough week with this. I don't know what is going on. But I actually really like how the makeup is coming out. You have to let me know down below what you think. Hey, my camera just died, so hopefully the angle isn't too messed up because we still got to do lips. And we have a new lip liner. The Merit Beauty lip liners. I know so many people were so excited to see this because the shade range is so stunning. This is their sheer lip liner. I got the shade Brownstone, I believe. I feel like I made that up. First of all, my vision. Yeah, Brownstone. And this is a really pretty shade. So I'm going to do just a little swatchy poo on my hand for you right here. It's very pretty. And we're going to just line our lips and then kind of break down everything afterwards. I'm going to just line them and then show you what it looks like, kind of sheer it out. And then we're going to go on with a lipstick. That is Brownstone. Now I'm going to just sheer it out a little bit and just kind of, well, sheer out isn't the right word, kind of blend it out so it's not too harsh of a line. We go on with lipstick. Now it's time for lipsticks. I have 3 of the Merit Beauty ones. I think I'm going to go with the shade Slip, but I have the shade Love and You, which is a little bit more of a berry tone. I'm kind of thinking that might look crazy today. 1990, which is a really pretty brown tone. It's a little bit more of a neutral tone. And then we have Slip, which is what I think I'm going to go with. It's so pretty. This is definitely my most worn shade. It's just like a really pretty light brown. So we're going to go on right out the bullet. I love that lip combination. You have to let me know what you think of the combo down below. Now let's talk lip liner. So this is more of a sheer lip liner. I would definitely say that it has kind of that more sheer kind of slip to it as well. So for me, it lasts, but it's not as long lasting as my Westman Atelier or my Jones Road Beauty lip liners. However, that doesn't necessarily bother me. This is one where I feel like it's best to powder your lips when you're using this, because if not, I feel like the sheerness of it and that slip that it has makes it not last quite as long. It doesn't disappear by any stretch of the imagination, but you get more longevity when you do use a powder with these lip liners. The shade range is incredible. I was so excited to see the shade range because I feel like people, especially of my complexion and darker, we're fighting for our lives sometimes with these lip liners that are very much more pink, or very light, or very mauve and a little too ashy. Sometimes they're a little too orange. The shade options that they have in this feels like there's something for everyone, which is incredible because I feel like so many people struggle to find a good lip liner for their skin tone and what they like, kind of the tone of their lips to be. And then throughout the year, you kind of want to change it from more pinky to maybe more brown, or you want whatever, you know, depending on the seasons, you want something different. This is really nice. And it's also hydrating, which I appreciate because my lips are so dry, like constantly so dry. Now, what I want to do is do a quick recap on everything. So the Axiology, their foundation in the shade 8, I love the way my makeup's looking. It's a nice light to medium, buildable to medium coverage product. It can get dewy towards the end of the day, so just make sure you oil, girl, if I don't get it together, powder your T-zone if you do have kind of more oily skin. Again, I have combination skin. I really like this. I love the way that it looks all day, and by the end of the day when I come home, it's not breaking apart or looking funky on me. I actually really enjoy this, especially with a setting spray and a powder. It just, I mean, you have to let me know, what do you think of my complexion? I feel like it looks pretty good. And another one from Axiology is their highlighter stick, or it's called the Dew or something. Tinted Dew. I have the shade The Goodness, or The Goddess. The Goodness. Get it right that time. This is, I mean, Look at that. Look. And it doesn't move makeup underneath. It's so freaking stunning. And although it's more of a subtle highlight, is it though? Like it is, but it isn't. Because when it catches the light, you're like, oh, she drank 100 glasses of water yesterday. And today. Stunning. Just, it's so beautiful. I'm obsessed. Then, the blushes. Very expensive. Well aware. Bananas. However, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Again, this is Suede and Sable. So we have Suede. I believe this is Suede and this is Sable. So beautiful. I mean, they have so many absolutely stunning shades. This really speaks to my soul. To me, it's like, oh, Manon in a palette for blush. And I was really, really nervous about this shade. I was like, Kay, you're going to look like nothing on my skin. And then I put it on and I was like, oh, okay. She's cute. But more of a like bronzy bronzer type blush. I really, really like these. And they have a nice blur. I mean, I wish you could see up close and in person. The blur that it gives is really surprising. I was not anticipating that at all. It's very beautiful. Again, expensive. However, I really enjoy this, and just a whiff of it. Don't go crazy because you saw what happened. We had to do some tap around, you know. We had to fix it real quick, but I really, really enjoy this. And if this is something that you were like, oh, do I want to splurge on it for myself or give it to someone else? I think that this is really, really incredible and definitely worth getting during the Sephora sale because 20% off, 10% off, whatever the percent off in your tier is definitely worth it in my opinion. And if you do get it from Westman Atelier because you're a little nervous and you're like, oh, what if I don't think it's worth it or I don't really like it? They do allow you to return stuff, which is great. I love that. Then we had the setting spray from Kosas. It's a nice setting spray. It definitely keeps everything kind of looking good all day. Like your makeup doesn't really move. However, if you have combination skin or oily skin, I don't know if it's going to be for you just because I definitely need to powder with this. Because by the end of the day, I do feel like I'm looking a little slip and slidey. You know what I mean? Like I was cooking in the grease, making fries or whatever. I feel like it gets a little bit dewy. So I always have a powder on hand anyways for me, but I know a lot of people don't want to do that. So if you are nervous about getting oily, this might not be for you. Again, I prefer the LYS Beauty Setting Spray. I actually sometimes have done the combination of the Kosas setting spray first and then powdered and done all that and then gone on with the LYS Beauty Setting Spray and then my skin, snatch, beautiful. This is nice, not for everyone. I do enjoy it, but again, I like to powder and kind of use oil control products when I do use something that is kind of doing the oiliness in my T-zone. Then the Koolfi mascara. Love her. I love a tubing mascara to begin with. This is incredible. And look at my lashes. I mean, you tell me what you think. It is so, so nice, and I know so many people love a tubing mascara, and not all tubing mascaras will give you the volume that you want and the length and hold the curl. This does kind of do all of that, which is really nice. And again, if you go beyond the 2 coats, the 3 to me, if I over applied on my tips of my lashes, I did have a touch of crumbling. It wasn't anything offensive, but it is something that to be aware of. When you over apply mascara in general, you can get some kind of crumbling and all of that. I really like it. It's super easy to remove, a little bit of water. And then you're good to go. Love that. And I feel like it gave a really nice, excuse you. It gave a really nice curl when I was applying it, hadn't curled my lashes, and I feel like the curls so far is holding really nicely. You have to let me know your thoughts down below. Then lastly, we had the Merit Beauty lip liner. I really enjoy it. The shade range is absolutely stunning. It's kind of more of a sheer product and it has a little bit more slip, so it's not the most long lasting lip liner, but I do really like it. I do think because it's one that you will have to reapply a little bit more than some of the ones that I love, like the Victoria Beckham Beauty and the Jones Road Beauty, you'll run out of product a little bit quick on this one. However, the shade range is stunning and I overall really enjoy it. I mean, you have to let me know your thoughts down below about how the lips turned out. And yeah, that's it for this video. That is it for this new makeup video. I would love to know down below your thoughts. What did you like the most? What were you the most surprised by? And all that jazz. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.